Hello everybody, Hannah Mandala here and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Every single Tuesday I come out with a movie discussion. Every single Friday I come out with a vlog where I show you guys my life. Today's video we're gonna be talking about Let It Snow, a 2019 video by Netflix. And this video was very entertaining. I liked this video very much. I thought that it was enjoyable for a passive, easy watch, something that you could easily relate to in that kind of sense. But overall, it was very topical in the sense that like all of the relationships, of course, were fast-tracked. And yeah, essentially all of the characters are like interconnected. So we have four like main couples or like love interests. There's like Dory and Tegan, the lesbians. And I'm gonna explain why I'm labeling them in just a second. And then Duke and Tobin, they're like best friend, meant to be forever soulmate couple. We've got Julie and Stuart. That's an interesting relationship. And then the final relationship is, what's the last one? Oh, it's not even a relationship. It's about the jealous girl. Her name is Addie. Poor Addie. Okay, so I'm gonna be talking about each of those like relationships because everything is interconnected. This movie is a bit like, I think it's Love Actually, or Valentine's Day, where there's just like all these different people like interconnected. So I'm not gonna go through the video chronologically. I'm gonna go through it relationship by relationship by relationship. Also, another reason why I thought this video was really topical was because they were trying really hard to do diversity for everybody. So they had every single race represented. They had like every single Christmas or like holiday, winter thing included as well, which was interesting because like there was a Christmas pageant where there was like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, even Chinese New Year. Like Netflix went full out for the inclusion aspect of this movie. And I actually thought it was a little, they were trying too hard, and because they were like brushing over every single people who are gay or all the different races or people going through certain struggles or whatever. They tried to include it all, and it was just like there was no depth to it. And I was just like, okay, you're just doing this like tick off the boxes. There's no actual sustenance to what the heck is going on. So like thumbs down for that portion of it. But let's talk about all these different love affairs because, okay, yeah, we're gonna start with Dory and Tegan, the lesbian lovers. So Dory, I thought, is a top-notch character. She's very insightful and she's really helpful for Addie, the jealous girl who we're gonna get to. And when her love interest, Tegan, came to the restaurant where she worked at, Dory, being awesome, went up and started talking to Tegan because they had some history or whatever. And Tegan was being a jerk. She was being such a jerk to Dory and was like, okay, don't talk to me kind of situation. And her friends were all like kind of, you know, like classic high school, like popular, unfriendly kind of girls, I guess. I guess that was the stereotype that they were going for that group. And then it was just like, okay, that's kind of weird. But then Tegan started sending mixed signals to Dory. Yeah, Dory was kind of like, what the heck, girl? Like, you can't come into the bathroom and kiss me and then ignore me and act as if nothing has happened. Yeah, and then so finally at the end of the movie, Dory goes up to Tegan, and is like, you know what? Whatever your frickin' problem is not my problem, and you gotta sort this out on your own. And then it's just like, obviously, Tegan, it was pretty clear to me anyways that Tegan was struggling with her sexuality. And then sure enough, at the end, Tegan comes out and is like, you know what, I'm not actually out. I lied to you. I really like you, but I just wasn't able to, like my friends didn't know, so I was being a jerk to you and I'm so sorry. And Dory, obviously, because like Dory's a top-notch character. She's take no shit from no one. She's like, yeah, you were being a jerk about it. But then she like forgave, and then Tegan came out and they ended up kissing, and now they'll be together in Netflix Foreverland. I thought one thing that was really cute about that one, I really liked the Dory and Tegan thing, was when Tegan was like, you make me feel brave and that you make me want to be the best version of myself. And I thought that was so touching because she met Dory and like Dory impacted her in such a way. They have like a fundamental kind of connection, you know, when you connect with someone. that she decided to come out. And that's amazing. And I was like, yeah, girl. And I was like, this is good. I'm glad. Like, I thought that was really great. I thought Dory totally deserved that. On the train of Dory, we will jump over to Addie, I don't know how they say her name. She's the jealous girl with really nice, like poppin' blue eyes and brown hair. Yeah, Dory and Addie are best friends, except Addie is going through this really hard time with her boyfriend, and she's like obsessing over him. She's like creeping his Instagram, watching all of his activity and like freaking out over it. And like, I have a few opinions about this jealous situation because, first of all, girls are always kind of stereotyped to be really jealous individuals, or it's always like, oh, the jealous girlfriend or the jealous ex-girlfriend or girls are so needy or annoying. And first of all, I don't like that stereotype. Second of all, freaking Addie completely fulfills that stereotype. And it was just really, like, they did a really good job, like, portraying a very pathetic girl. And so essentially she was like obsessing over her boyfriend Jep in her phone and like trying to justify her relationship through her phone. And then obviously Jep was acting kind of weird. Like, he wasn't answering her texts, and I think Jep himself was a little bit out of line because he wasn't replying to her. And then she ended up getting to the Waffle House where everyone ends up going, but she ends up finding him with like a group of friends and this one girl in particular who had been engaging with on social media and like had photos with and stuff. And he didn't even have photos with his girlfriend. So obviously jealous girl was upset that the boyfriend didn't have any photos of them together, but he had photos of him with other girls. And then she goes and is like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, I don't have to tell you anything. I'm just hanging out with my friends. And she's upset because she just wants to be with her boyfriend. And then the girl who he's with pisses jealous girl off, and jealous girl dumps the milkshake on the freaking girl. But then the dude is like, girl, you're annoying. And I'm just like, if this is your girlfriend, she should not be annoying. And if you find your girlfriend annoying, you probably need a different girlfriend. And same goes the other way. Girl, if you find your boyfriend annoying, you're not gonna want, it doesn't work long term. And I feel like if jealous girl wasn't so fixated on like, I feel like the social media and like her obsession with the picture of a perfect relationship totally distracted her from seeing the reality of the situation, which was her boyfriend wasn't actually freaking into her. And so if she had like taken a step back and be like, okay, I'm like trying to create this picture of a perfect relationship with this dude who doesn't care about me, I need to end it, you know? Jealous girl leaves all pissed off, and then Dory goes out and tells her that she needs to stop caring about people who don't care about her. And I think that's really true from Dory's insight, and like, kudos to Dory. I love her. She was such a great character. I think that's so true, because when you're always caring about people who don't care about you, that shows a lack of, like, a total disconnect in yourself, or like lack of care for yourself. Because if you're tolerating behavior that is destructive for you or not beneficial for you or harmful in some way, emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever way, and if you're tolerating that and it keeps happening, okay, the other people aren't the problem. Well, the other people might be a problem, but the bigger problem is with you, because you're not stopping the problem. You stop engaging with those people. Jealous girl goes off and like, what is boohoo, everyone hates me, which isn't true. That is not true. Not everyone hates her. She was just trying to be with this guy. She deserved better than him. She deserves to be with someone who wants to be with her. And she also needs to be truthful enough with herself to know what is and what is not good, and to love herself enough to be able to love someone else. Like, she wasn't even at that point. So hence all the jealousy. Yeah, at the end, she ends up going back with her bestie, Miss Dory. And then they're like good to go. They're besties again because they're friends. So of course. And then she actually falls in love with this guy who I'm going to describe. His name's JP. And JP, because everyone's freaking interconnected in this freaking movie, JP is a plot twist for the love interest of Tobin and Duke. I don't know, this love story was another super classic one featured in this story about like long best friends for life, and then they end up being soulmates and like loving each other. and called it from the beginning. The whole movie is predictable. Obviously, it was gonna happen. But I really like this one because of Tobin. I thought Tobin was a really good character because he was made out to be this kind of wannabe jock guy. But in reality, he was kind of like this dorky musician type. Like so many things, like he tries to be this wannabe jock guy because he's trying to impress Duke because he loves Duke. He like shaves his nipple hair at one point and then he like cuts his nipple and he's bleeding and he's like downstairs talking to Duke and then he's like, his nipple starts bleeding through his shirt. It's really funny. He's trying to be like, oh yeah, so I was just doing push-ups. I was doing push-ups over glass. And she's like, no, what? No. And like the girls see through that. And then they went and play broomball where Duke got invited to this party by this college guy named JP who Tobin was intimidated by. And he was intimidated by him because he was this really like athletic dude and he came across as like a well-kept athlete jock dude from college. Tobin tried to fit in with the whole athletic thing, but it just didn't work. Like he got beat up in the broomball thing. But then it was ironic that he was trying to be this athletic guy, but Duke was with JP, college dude who was athletic, but he was also really sensitive. JP was into meditation. He claimed himself to be a feminist. He was this, like not the expected stereotype that you would otherwise expect. Anyways, Duke and JP are together. They get stranded in this church and they're like, Tobin's like jamming out on the organ or yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the organ. He's like jamming out. And then there was like this scene where Duke and JP started dancing and then obviously Tobin got really upset and he's like, oh, I can't handle this because he's like emotionally constipated. Like he's loved this girl forever and then he finally decides that he kind of wants to tell her when becomes unavailable. He should have just been honest. And then Duke obviously notices that something the frick is up with him. Whatever, they go their separate ways and then they meet up at the end when they all meet at the Waffle House thing. Tobin goes there with a keg that he stole from the party that he was at the college thing because there's so many things going on in this movie. He's just like done. Tobin is so exhausted. He is upset. He lost the girl of his dreams. He is upset that he tried to be athletic but failed because he was trying to be someone who he wasn't. And then when he arrives at the party with the keg, the people he stole it from were there and they were like these big like jockey or like these guys who are gonna beat him up or something. And then Tobin makes this like epic speech. It was so funny where he's like, all right, come at me. What you gonna do? He's like, I overcame a peanut allergy. Do you know how hard that is? And fear of raccoons? Done after a few months of counseling. Oh, and he's like, yeah, I went to piano camp. What you gonna do about it? And he's like, he does this like beautiful proclamation of who he really is. And he's just like, you know what? It was just like you could tell that speech was a result of like feeling like a failure. And the feeling of being a failure was because he was trying to be someone who he wasn't in an attempt to impress Duke. When if he had been honest with her, he wouldn't have had to try to impress her at all because he is already enough as he is, clearly, because after he makes that speech thing and I'm like, yeah, that's right, dude. You own you. You stand up for you. I like that you do this and now you're being accepted. The people who are going to beat you up now accept you. And that is amazing. Like that is just a demonstration to when you're honest, when you're your authentic self, good things frickin' happen. Good things happen. And then sure enough, the lovely Duke, her other name is Angie. I don't know, they name her all these different names. I don't really get it. But then Angie goes and like confesses her love. And she's like, I was scared that it was you. Which is fair because so flippin' often we're taught that love is scary. So Duke was afraid to confess her love to Tobin because she was scared that it was him. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's really interesting that so often love is made out to be this really scary, sacrificing thing. And I think that's just a byproduct of like sensationalization or like the over like dramatic demonstrations of love that happen in movies and stuff. Duke says, Tobin, I love you. Tobin's like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And they're like graduating high school and then there you go. They kiss. Yeah, which is great. Yeah, so we covered Dory and Tegan, Jealous Girl, Duke and Tobin. And finally, we're gonna talk about Stuart and Julie. They picked, Stuart is a beautiful human. And so Stuart and Julie, they meet on a train. And Julie is this small town girl living with her mom and her grandpa. Her dad left in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Her mom tries to make the holidays a really big deal, which is kind of stressful when that happens. And her mom is sick. Julie got accepted to Columbia on a full scholarship or something to go to university, but she feels she can't go because she has to stay and take care of her mom. But she didn't actually tell her mom. She just is carrying this weight, not telling her mom that she is accepted, that she has a scholarship, that she's able to go and live the life that she frickin' wants. She is obviously housing all of these like really upset emotions within her. And sure enough, she's a frustrated character who gets mad at Stuart. And Stuart is a famous singer, and somehow he ends up on the same train as Julie, and they interact, and then they like really sexualize Stuart. There was like this middle-aged woman or something who was like way older than Stuart. When the middle-aged woman said that her and her friends want to do dirty things to Stuart, it was just kind of like, okay, Netflix is trying really hard to be inclusive and stuff, because instead of like over-sexualizing a female, which typically happens in a lot of movies, they're doing that to male. And I'm not saying that males aren't sexualized in other movies and that females are only sexualized. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they really sexualize Stuart. And then Julie's got some sass. She is not wanting anything to do with him. They end up going to the Waffle House, and Stuart's like a freaking sweetheart. He's digging Julie. And to be completely honest, I don't really get why, because she's just being really standoffish and closed off and sassy and kind of like unnecessarily blunt or like abrupt to this dude. And like, I'm not saying that you have to be willing to talk to people who want to talk to you. I'm not saying that. When she would engage with him, it was just like, if you don't want to talk to him, don't talk to him. Or if you decide that you want to talk to him, talk to him. I don't know, whatever. They go tobogganing and he saves her life, and that was lovely. And then they go to the Christmas show with the mom who's sick, and Stuart knows about Columbia, and Julie said to Stuart not to tell his mom or her mom, and then whatever. They go to the house, la-di-da, they have a good time, and then her mom has like this sick episode, and Stuart is like, let me help you. When they go upstairs after, when the mom's laying down and it's just Julie and Stuart, Stuart's like, let me help you. Let me hire a nurse for you. And like, okay, that's a little bit over the top, but obviously everything is fast-tracked in this movie. But flipping Julie has a little spaz out, and she's like, what is this? Am I a cherry case? You just come around off your tour bus and give money to charity, and what is with you? What's up? What's your problem? Why are you here? And she's like doing all this stuff, and it's valid to ask someone's intentions. It's valid to be like, okay, like, where's it going? She did it so abruptly and like harshly. It was just like, girl. And then Stuart leaves, and he like tries to make it up for her, and he like, Stuart is so into this girl, and he like wants to kiss her, and then he like tells her to go to New York with him or like leave with him, and I don't know. He leaves, and then Julie and her mom have a conversation, which gave me flipping goosebumps when I was watching it, because Julie finally says she's mad because she wants to go to Columbia, but she can't because she has to take care of her mom. And her mom isn't accepting the fact that she's sick and that she's not taking this situation as seriously as it needs to. Which very well could happen. Parents try to shelter their children and they try not to be as honest. So obviously the child's gonna pick up on the lack of honesty, and they're gonna see the situation for how bad it is. But when the parent tries to be like, no, it's not bad, it's just kind of like, whoa, mom or dad, like, what the heck you doing? That's not right. But you know what I'm talking about? I know what I'm talking about, because so many parents do that. They try to shelter their children and be like, oh, no, it's not bad. I'm not sick. I'm fine. If you're sick, it's okay to say that you're sick. It's okay. Like, the lack of honesty from the mother is going to make the daughter feel responsible to take care of her mom because she sees the situation as it is, but as if it doesn't exist. Like there's like she sees that disconnect. And then, but then she didn't tell her mom. So the mom's dishonest with the daughter's dishonest with her mom. And then the mom is like, here, talk to me, what's going on? And then the daughter is like, I'm mad at you. And yeah, I think that's fair. But if you're dishonest in the first place, then Julie wouldn't have been such a sassy person. And she was so sassy to Stuart throughout the entire movie. But what was really good about the mom and Julie talk was when her mom was like, you can't try to fit life into a container and try to control it. And I thought that was so touching because people try to line their ducks up in a row and try to make sure that everything stays in order all the time and they have everything in control and that they are presenting themselves the way that they need to be presented and all of those things, but that never flippin' works. Like that just it doesn't work. And I thought the mom saying like, you have to take opportunities when they come, bad things happen. That doesn't mean life stops. You keep going, stop trying to put your life into a box and container because when you try to squish life into something, life is so much more than that. Of course, there's gonna be havoc and mayhem. And I honestly think that that's like the real big issue with like every single relationship that happened in this movie. Tegan tried to conceal her sexuality from the world, aside from Dory. And then her and Dory, she was a jerk to Dory. And then she was a jerk because she was trying to fit herself into a box who she was, aka a heterosexual person. So of course it's gonna come out in other ways. And then Jealous Girl, she's trying to fit herself into this box of being this perfect girlfriend for this guy who doesn't deserve her and she needs to like take the time to love herself and like respect who she is so she can be existent outside of that box. And then for freaking Tobin, Duke was a pretty flat character. Like she was just a love interest, but Tobin had all the growth. And like when he finally realized that he wasn't the box of the jock dude and he like embraced who he was, all of what he is, then he got what he wanted. And then freaking Julie, same for her. When she was finally honest, then she goes and meets up with her friends and sure enough, her and Stuart meet and they flipping kiss and everybody lives happily ever after. And the movie was totally predictable, but I really loved the underlying stories of each character. And yeah, they incorporated humor throughout the entire thing. The continuous like bleeding nipple situation for Tobin was fantastic. I freaking loved that. And then they also had like two supporting characters, Keon and Billy. Oh my gosh, I freaking loved Billy. He was just like this like sound of reason, like super kind of hippy dippy, like universe connected type. And he was great. I really loved him. He referenced the universe always like hugging you and just like letting things be. That was like another story because Keon was always kind of tense and then like, Billy was always like, just let things be. And then at the ending, Keon finally is like, yeah, it's okay. Like I'm gonna do my thing. That's the flippin' movie. So I guess my ending message here is don't put yourself into a flippin' box because when you put yourself into a flippin' box, then bad things are just gonna happen. Like don't squish your personhood into a container. Embrace who you are. Ooh, I'm so excited because the next few videos that I'm gonna be doing for every single movie review on Tuesdays, we're gonna be talking more about this. And yeah, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and then also you're gonna wanna tune in because I'm coming up with a new series either this Friday or next Friday. Or maybe, yeah, we'll see. About my life because I talk about love, relationships, and growth, and I want to share my love, relationship, and growth with you guys because I travel the world with my partner, I work from my laptop, and every day is a freaking learning experience. Living, learning, and laughing is what I like to do all day, every day. So I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Thank you so flippin' much for tuning in. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye, friends.